Hi kids, welcome to video 4 in the Introduction to Flash series of videos. By now you should have done 1, 2 and 3, so if you haven't, go and do those now. But if you have, you should have something that looks a little bit like this. A couple of characters and maybe a ball or something that they're playing with. Now you must make sure that you've done this right before you go any further. Each character should be on a separate layer, and I'm counting this ball here as a character as well. Okay, if they're not on separate layers, then they're going to start interacting with each other in ways that we don't like. Okay, now so far we've done frame by frame animation, okay, to create some movement. Okay, and that's all right. That's fine. That's a good way of doing it. In fact, some animation always has to be done frame by frame. However, because we're using a computer, we can use something called tweening to enable us to cheat a bit. Okay, my final frame is frame 28, and so far I'm going to look at this yellow character. The yellow character has kind of moved over to the left and stopped. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make him move over to the right again. Now I could do it frame by frame, just by adding more keyframes to the yellow character and moving him over. Don't worry that the others have disappeared, it's just because they haven't got any frames now. They haven't got a 30th frame, so they're not there, but we can stick them back in later. So I could do this frame by frame. Keyframe, move him. Keyframe, move him. Okay, but that's a bit slow. It's how we've been doing it so far, but it's a bit slow. So let's undo that. Control Z, 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 Z. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this thing called tweening. And all tweening is the computer filling in the middle bit of animation for you. So what happens is you tell the computer where you want your yellow person to start. You then go down the timeline a bit and you tell him where you want him to stop, and the computer does everything in between. Oh, that's where the word comes from. In between, tweening. Okay, so at frame 28, the yellow chap is here. I'm going to go down 12 frames per second. So if I go down 12 frames, so that'll take me to frame 40. That'll be 1 second of animation. So I'm going to insert a keyframe on frame 40. And then I'm going to move my yellow guy to where I want him to end up on frame 40. Oh, I've just noticed that I don't have a keyframe at 28, so I better put that in. Insert a keyframe there. It's important that you have a keyframe at the start and a keyframe at the end of your tween. So 28 he's there, and at 40 he's over there. Now you can see at the moment he sits still and then jumps across. So what we need to do now is get the computer to tween the middle bit. So you click anywhere in the middle, go down to where it says tween, and we do a shape tween. And you should get a nice arrow in the timeline. And now if you can see, he does the animation for me. And that's called tweening. What I'll do now is I'll just stick in a keyframe for the green guy and a keyframe for the ball. Okay, Control Enter, let's check it out. And that's the tween there. Now, those of you who are observant might notice that the yellow guy's mouth opens. Well, that's an interesting little side effect of using tweening. It's actually not opening the mouth, it's kind of destroying the mouth, but in a way that looks okay to us. When you tween complex shapes, sometimes the computer can distort them, and getting it to not distort is going to be the subject of my next video, video number 5. So try some tweening and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, see you later.